Hey there, everybody. My name is Tom of MTG Radio, and well, today's a great day. You know why? I'm sure you know why, because today we get to play some EDH, and we get to play against some pretty cool decks. Our first two we're playing against going to be, well, I'm just going to start with these guys first. We have both Progenitus and Child of Alara heading up the Shards of Alara duo, Shards of Alara block duo. Progenitus, white, white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, green for a legendary Hydra avatar. It's got protection from not one thing, but from everything. And if Progenitus will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, you reveal it and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. We're just going to play a land and pass. We are playing a mono black control Erebos deck. I'll go more into it a little bit later. We are going to use the F8 key, which means we'll be tapping out a lot. So if you're like, why do you keep tapping out, Tom? You can represent Doomblade. It's because who represents Doomblade? I mean, you can. I'm not hating on representing Doomblade. Don't get me wrong. Just it speeds up the games, and as you know, EDH games can go rather long. So we're also playing against Child of Alara. White, blue, black, red, green for a trampling 6/6 legendary avatar from Conflux. When it dies, destroy all non-land permanents that cannot be regenerated. When playing against 5-color generals, the fact is you have no idea what's coming. Most of the times, 5-color generals are 5-color good stuff, kind of an amalgamation of cards that a player really likes and wants to try out in EDH. There's nothing wrong with those decks. Honestly, they're really strong. They can do a really good job in the format, and can be very hard to overcome. Sometimes they're very enchantment focused. Sometimes they forget to play a land during their main phases and they just discard a card. We might be playing against Manaless Dredge actually. Let's see if he puts Phantasmagoria into the graveyard. Doomgape. This might actually be reanimation, which would be pretty funny. When playing against Child of Alara, you can at least there's like a couple of decks that specifically use Child, so you can kind of hedge your bets when playing against it. There's maybe a reanimation focused Child of Alara deck that just constantly brings Child of Alara back out of the graveyard. Good news, Erebos is a great matchup against that. Matchups in EDH. That's not wrong. Our last deck we're playing against is going to be Ertai, Wizard Adept, playing a Kami of the Crescent Moon, trying to get on everyone's good side. The fact is you're playing Ertai, so you're not going to get on anybody's good side. Ertai Wizard Adept for 2 and a blue. It's only 2 and a blue? Really? Oh, wow. That's really good, actually. 2 and a blue for a 1/1 legendary human wizard. And for 2 double blue, you can tap it to counter target spell. Kami of the Crescent Moon comes down. One of the main problems with mono blue decks is you never have enough cards to counter all your opponent's spells. Oh, what was me? But in actuality, it does kind of suck for these type of decks. We have 3 lands in hand. We're not discarding any of these. Crypt Gas is coming down on 4. Twisted Abomination is going to get us a land, so is Read the Bones. I think the card that actually hits the bin for us is Pontiff Blight. The reason why is Wrath Effect, other cards. I guess if we're looking for lands, we don't really need this Twisted Abomination. Yeah, we're actually going to discard Twisted Abomination. I like these other cards in our hand too much. This is a legitimate win condition. This can be cycled early so that we don't get killed by small creatures. And this is going to find us lands next turn anyways. So Twisted Abomination is going to have its job done for it. Now that's right, you and I, we're playing Erebos God of the Dead. 3 and a black for an indestructible 5/7. He's a god. He's a legendary enchantment god. And as long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebos isn't a creature. Your opponents can't gain life, and you can pay 1 in a black to pay 2 life to draw a card. Erebos is strong, guys. Erebos is really, really, really strong. And I'm not going to lie to you, because lying isn't nice. Our deck is a generic mono black deck. That's about it. It's pretty generic. It plays standard good black cards, and it looks to win using Erebos for a lot of really good inevitability, as well as multiple ways to mana flare. You see, we have both Crypt Gas and Cabal Coffers in our hand. I plan on using both. I really do like this deck. It can be a very slow deck, but it's a slow trudge to winning, which is nice. It's not a slow trudge to doing nothing, which is not what we want to be doing. Now let's see if he plays Ertai on 3. If he plays Ertai on 3, I'm not scared per se. I just know that it sucks being the person on the left of someone who can counter any spell. Because if you play anything intimidating, you're just done. Like, game over, man. You don't get to do anything for the rest of the game. So, also why I wanted to keep this Decree Pain, because we can cycle it to kill Ertai. Or Rain. Just for 5. That's the cool part about Decree Pain. Not enough people use the cycling part of this, but because it's an ability, you're not actually casting the spell, it can't be countered by something like Ertai. Which is awesome. Awesome. We're going to take 1 damage from Kami of the Crescent Moon, and God knows we deserved it. We get to draw an extra land, draw a swamp. We're going to try and play swamps as much as we can, because we do have Cabal Coffers in hand. Swamps are going to be the way we win this game. In fact, now we have a choice. We can play Read the Bones to scry and dig further in, but we would end up discarding 2 cards, and that's not something I want to do right now. We basically be paying 2 life to discard 2 cards, which is not worth it. What I'll instead be doing is I want to keep these cards. I can see discarding either Volrash Stronghold or Phyrexian Tower. I don't think they're going to be part of the plan. I want to keep Liliana's Shade. I guess next turn, right, we're playing Cryptghast, and then on the following turn, we're doing whatever the hell we want, which is the point of this deck. Let's go to our next phase. Everyone else is F6 through our turn. The question is if we read the bones. We're drawing 2 cards. We don't need to read the bones. Let's just pass. We'll discard this. It's either Tower or Stronghold, and we get more utility out of Stronghold. With Stronghold, we are able to repeat Gary's or a Grey Merchant of Asphodels, which is, I mean, we're playing mono black. It's one of the win conditions. Rain Academy Chancellor did hit the battlefield. This is a card that doesn't see a lot of play. 2 and a blue for a 1/1 legendary wizard. Human wizard. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card, and you may draw an additional card if Rain Academy Chancellor is enchanted. Now for this mono blue deck, I'm assuming it's going to be tribal wizards, but I am happy to be proven wrong. Actually excited to be proven wrong. I am wary of it. And what I mean by wary is this deck is probably a lot stronger than it seems like it is on the surface. With an early economy of the Crescent Moon, this deck has the capabilities to be a very controlling deck and honestly not 3v1 the table, but be a force that really chooses how the path of this game goes. So number one thing we don't want to do, get on this guy's bad side. That's the easiest way we lose this game. Just make this guy hate us, game's over. He counters all of our spells, we don't get to do anything, so on and so forth. On next turn, if he leaves up mana, we're going to cast Cryptghast instead of Erebos. It's just better. The reason why we'll be casting Cryptghast instead of Erebos there, I shouldn't just say it's just better. That's pretty silly. But we'll be casting Cryptghast instead of Erebos because Cryptghast, number one, mana flares us, but most importantly, if it gets hindered, we don't really care. A little F6 here. Our opponent plays Azusa, lost by seeking, so this is a lands-based deck with Child of Alara. So the cool part of Child, destroy all non-land permanents that can't be regenerated. Well, you can't destroy lands. So he's going to be playing a lot of man lands. The fact is, we don't have a lot of ways to interact with this type of build. We'll just have to try and keep it down if we can. And the best way is to go over the top. We have cards like Cryptghast, cards like Pontiff of Blight that let us extort the heck out of him. In fact, Pontiff of Blight can block Child of Alara, which I think is hilarious. It is hilarious, actually. Coffee. So for 3, is Ertai coming down? Are we going to enchant Rain? How are we going to do this? Ertai entering the battlefield. So one of the things about a tribal wizard deck, especially a controlled tribal wizard deck, is number one, you do need a way to draw a bunch of lands, a bunch of cards. Kami the Crescent Moon lets you do that. Number two, you need to be non-threatening until the late game. And that's something this deck's doing a very good job of. Ooh, I think, yeah, I'm going to turn that off for an hour. There we go. Ooh, we draw a swamp. That's perfect. That's what we want to play down here, because we're just going to cast Cryptghast. Does Cryptghast make it through this turn? Probably not, but I'm a hopeful one. What can I say? I'm a dreamer. We're going to cast Cryptghast here, 3 and a black for an extorting 2/2. Whenever we tap a swamp for mana, we have black to our mana pool. This could be like Spell Pierced. Not Spell Pierced. Yeah, it could be Spell Pierced, of course. No. It could be Spell Tithe. Still the wrong cards. Mana Tithe is the white version of this card. Force Spiked! It could be Force Spiked, but it didn't. Force Spike is probably the most hilarious card to run in EDH. Not the most, there's a lot of funny cards you can run in EDH. I love running Force Spike in EDH. No one expects it. They're like, oh, he's got 1 blue mana. Whatever, I'll cast this Cultivate, Force Spike you, and then they're just done. There's nothing else that player can do for the rest of the game. It's just like, whoops, did you try and play? No. It's perfect. Now, the only downside to our play here is that it makes casting a Kriya Pain so much worse. Because if he just leaves up Ertai, we are kind of, not SOL. SOL is not the best way to put it. We are greatly hindered by our bottom right opponent. Even though we'll have 8, probably 10 mana available, this taps for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we'll have 10 either way available if Gripgas stays. Ooh, Vampire Tutor coming down for our Progenitus deck, so we get to put a card on top. Oh wait, this is from Valen, isn't it? Yeah, so Valen putting a card on top of Vampire Tutor, taking 2 life for it. That's really dangerous. And this deck should not go unnoticed. I know we keep hyping up this mono blue deck, but to be perfectly honest, I've died to this deck before. I've definitely played against it before, and I know this deck can crush us. He may just kill Cryptgas somehow. Horn of Greed, whenever a player plays a land, the player draws a card. With Azusa, that's pretty darn good. That's probably what he tutored for. Heck, that's what I tutor for. The only downside to the deck that Valen's playing here is that it's very reliant on a slow win condition. I don't know if he has the Maze's End win condition in this deck. I actually honestly forget. But what I do know is that it does play a couple of Wraths. It does play a lot of Child of Alara shenanigans. But most of all, if your opponents have blockers, it's just really hard to get through it. So if we get this Pots of Blight down, it gets really, really, really good for us. Plus, we get to just start extorting all the time, and that's fun. For 4, we got an Abundance. Oh, wow. So he's going to get all of his non-lands out of his deck. Abundance for 2 double green is a rare enchantment from, not originally from 10th edition, but if you would draw a card, you may instead choose land or non-land, reveal a card of the chosen kind, put the card into your hands. It reveals increasing ambition, going through all these other lands. That's going to be a constant. So with Horn of Greed and Abundance, he's going to get all of his non-lands out of his deck. That's pretty dangerous, because some of his non-lands are really, really, really good. I don't know what to do about that. I have no idea what to do about that. I guess we got to try and kill him. That's a good idea. Good one, Tom. We'll try and kill him. That's the answer. When in doubt as to what to do about your opponent that's playing lands, kill them. Kill them is always the answer. Core Haven does come down. This is a non-basic one. Highlight for a second. 1 in a white to prevent all combat damage to be dealt by target attacking creature this turn. A good way to prevent generals from killing you. So we wouldn't really be able to get through general damage against our top right opponent right now, just simply because of Core Haven. The good news is Erebos survives through Child of Alara, which is very good news. So how do we make it so that our bottom right opponent just doesn't just counter whatever we play? That's going to be pretty hard. Let's see what we draw. We have 2 draw steps here because of Kami of the Crescent Moon. He's just leaving up Ertai, not even playing anything. Ashes to Ashes is interesting. We could Ashes targeting Azusa and Ertai. Alright, we'll also draw a card here. That leaves us with 7 mana, which is good. We also get rid of Azusa. It gets exiled, which is awesome. And then... this is actually really awkward. If he counters it, we don't get rid of Azusa, though. What's the answer? What is the answer? I guess we can bait with Erebos, right? Let's bait with Erebos first. We're going to cast Erebos. Do we want to extort? We can extort if we're going to play Gilded Lotus, sure. So he's going to just counter Erebos, just off the bat. That's kind of fine. This is legitimately a bait. Sure. Can we extort, then still play Gilded Lotus? We can? Sure. So we'll extort, play Gilded Lotus, play Ashes to Ashes, getting rid of Azusa and Ertai. So he's going to immediately counter the Ertai. And this is why it sucks to be in this seat. Because no matter what we play, we'll always be the first spell countered. So, welcome to the pain of being in the seat left of Ertai. Here we'll cast Gilded Lotus. Triple black, Ashes the Ashes, targeting this. Actually, we don't even need to target that anymore. Let's target Azusa and Kami of the Crescent Moon. I'm tired of people drawing way too many cards. That can stop. It also gets exiled, which is nice. We do lose 5 life, but whatever. He gets to draw an extra card too, so we should be super happy. When we get rid of Azusa, he doesn't put 2 lands into play every single turn, 2 extra lands into play every single turn. He can't get back Azusa, which is great. So he only has, hopefully, 2 draw steps, which is good for us. And we put out a bunch more mana. Overall, I say that's a good turn for us. And we can attack him for 2, because he deserves it. Not even attacking our bottom right player. Attacking that guy. The Abundance Horn Agreed plan is very scary, especially since he has an increasing ambition to tutor again. We need to deal as much damage as we can while we can. If I remember correctly, this deck can go very, very, very defensive, playing cards like, not Moat, but playing cards like Ghostly Prison and Propaganda, and that's just not something I really want to battle through right now. So this is our best route to go. Next turn we'll play Cabal Coffers, because Cabal Coffers gives us a silly amount of mana. What we do with that mana? No idea. We're probably going to read the bones first. So we know he has another... So he's going to cultivate, grab some more lands into play. Sounds good. That's what this guy needs to do. He misses first land drop. I'm pretty sure on purpose to put Doomgape into play, but I've been wrong before. He still has an extra land in hand that he can play, so let's see if he does that. He's going to play the Sanctuary. So he's going very, very slow, but honestly we're giving him the time to do so. I know our deck isn't presenting a threat. Our deck really isn't a threat for a while. Makes sense to kind of play it on the down low. The good news is if our Crypt Gas gets killed, we still have a bunch of mana, and we're happy. And then if he plays Child of Alara and sacrifices it, he gets rid of his own Abundance and Horn of Greed, which is good for us. We just have to play with our first spell, always getting countered by Ertai. Woo! Revealing Demonic Tutor with Abundance. Alright, so he has 2 tutors in hand. I don't know what he gets specifically, just because it's been a while since I played against this deck. I'm not incredibly sure the cards that he wants here, but he can get 2 specific cards. They're the exact cards he wants, both Demonic Tutor and Increasing Ambition. Let's see what he goes for. Could be something like Naked Singularity, prevent us from actually casting spells anymore. Make me really sad, but it's definitely a possibility. Let's see, he's doing Increasing Ambition first. Search his library for a card to put into his hand. He can flash it back for 7 in black to find 2 cards from his library. I'm gonna talk to our Ertai player. Hey, so... Okay, so we talked to our mono blue deck. No more lamenting that we're going to get our first spell countered by Ertai anymore. We basically told him straight up, like, our top right opponent tutored 3 times, so tutored twice so far using Vampiric and Increasing Ambition. We need to get him. Like, we really need to get him, if possible. I don't have any way to destroy his enchantments, neither does a bottom right player because he's playing mono blue. So hopefully he'll stop countering our first spell every single turn. That being said, we have to play non-threatening spells. We formed an uneasy alliance. This alliance is based off of the predicate that we will not hurt him in any sort of way. This is a Volrash Stronghold, which is great for this deck here. The single reason is he can keep putting Child of Alara back on top. So he can keep wrathing the board with it. We need to start dealing damage to our top right player. Like, we need to deal damage. I don't know if we have a way to do that right now. So to continue my previous thought, one of the things we really need to do is play single target spells, not Pontiff of Blight, not Decree of Pain. We need to play spells like Geth or Erebos to show that we're not trying to hurt the table at once. We're just focusing on one single person, which is our top right player. Rubble Hulk, the card Found with Abundance, great spell for him. It's huge already, but for 1 green red, he can supercharge a single attacker. Whether it be a Treetop Village or a Raging Ravine, it almost takes him out of the game sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rubble Hulk already hits for 10. So, just randomly blast somebody for 13. Seems like the good life. He taps out too, which I don't know if that's something I would do. I'm also really sure he knows he's the target right now, because there's no way he can't. Really glad we killed that Asusa. Really, really glad we killed it. So my thoughts for this next turn, I think we're going to read the bones first. And then after read the bones, we'll... What will we do? Good question. I'm actually thinking of just playing Geth and Erebos if we can. We can play both Geth and Erebos here. I think that's the correct call. Erebos Geth, use Geth to slowly mill this guy out if we can. We can't really get anything from our top right, but we can at least get Exhibition Map. Do we? I've been putting Strip Mine into my decks a lot more. Looks like it still hasn't hit this deck yet, which is pretty depressing. We'll actually put it in right now. So a suggestion I would like to make for current deck builders of EDH, it's time to start playing Strip Mine again. If you weren't before, today's the day you get reminded. It's time to start playing Strip Mine again. The fact is, with Nykthos getting printed, you just need it. You just need it. Especially against a mono black deck like our own. We have access to both Nykthos and Cabal Coffers. We're going to be playing Cabal Coffers. You need this card. Not specific. I mean, you don't need exactly Strip Mine. There's a lot of other cards that you can use besides Strip Mine. Strip Mine isn't the only one, of course, but Strip Mine is the best one. So we're playing Strip Mine in this deck. We're also going to be playing Tech Edge. Alright, our turn. We draw a Pestilence Demon, which is awesome. Oh, does he literally just attack? Wow. Okay. I didn't mean attack. I meant keep your guy up. But okay, you can attack too. I'm okay with this. We draw a Beacon of Unrest. Yeah, we're just going to... Cabal Coffers for 6. We have 6 mana floating. We're going to cast Geth. We'll extort. Will we extort? Can we extort and then still play Erebos? We can. So we'll extort, play Geth. Play Erebos. Now the question is if we want to extort or cast Read the Bones. I think I'd rather just extort and leave up Erebos. Also, we can grab this Exhibition Map if we want to. I don't think we want to right now. Yeah, we can just for fun, just to mill him for 1. What goes into his... Cyclonic Roof was discarded? Oh god, this guy's playing close to the vest. Okay. Close to the vest is not the right words there, but I don't care. That's pretty silly. Yeah, we're going to grab this guy's Exhibition Map just for fun. Give me this card. Discarding. Okay, yeah, put Maids of Myth in the graveyard. I'm okay with this. Give me your Expedition Map. So, Geth, Lord of the Vault. 4 double black for an intimidating 5/5. X in a black to put target artifact or creature card with CMC X from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. Then, that player puts the top X cards of his or her graveyard into his or her library. Our top right player doesn't have many creatures. There aren't many of them, so Geth isn't going to hit often. But we can get some artifacts if we ever get, if we it depends on how lucky we are. We don't have anything to mill them for right now, but we might in the future. Braids comes down. Alright, so it's going to be a fun time. We're probably putting in Pots of Blight. 2 blue for Legendary Human Wizard. It's a 2/2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts an artifact, creature, or a land from their hand onto the battlefield. That doesn't cast as playing a land, so if our top right player just plays it with Horn of Greed, it's not going to work. Oh. Our opponent rifted he rifted Abundance back into our top right opponent's hand, or we were putting in that Tamorphic, or we were putting in that Strip Mine, and the Tectonic Edge. Just wanted to update you on that one. That's why he's not just... It's a very good idea. Actually, a great idea. I like that call. It's a good call. You can put an artifact, creature, or land from his hand onto the battlefield here. He's not just going to put Rubble Hulk down, is he? Oh, that's a good card for him. Knight of the Reliquary hits the battlefield. We can't kill that right now. We can kill everything, but we can't kill that. So this is probably just Abundance before he plays a land. That way you can keep hitting non-lands with Horn of Greed activations. He's got Exploration, so he can still play 2 lands here. Is this just getting countered? Straight up counterspell the Abundance. No, sir. What are you trying to do over there? So, this is why communication is very important. The land guy drops big creatures, I can steal them. Keep Rays around. Okay. Gonna give him a smiley face here. Um, Gosh, this was a good idea to talk to this guy. Okay. We're also being allowed to do stupid things, which is nice. I'm really happy about this. This is probably just straight up Child of Alara. That's what I'd cast here. Child of Alara comes down. Does he have a way to sacrifice it on board? I don't see one. I don't even know if that's the correct call. So speaking more on the adding Strip Mines and Tectonic as the decks, I do think it's really important for the current Commander. I'm going to say metagame, but let's be honest, there isn't really a Commander metagame. I think it's just really important for Commander in its current form. With Theros recently coming out, just like with RTR and with Laboratory Maniac, just like with RTR and stuff before it, it's really attractive for people to play with, and people want to play with it now. What I mean by that is, you're seeing a lot of gods being played in decks. You're seeing a lot of, well, heck, everything being experimented as generals. You're seeing a lot of Daxos decks. You're seeing a lot of really cool ideas going through the ringer, basically, and that's good. First of all, great, love to see it. The only downside is that we're also seeing a lot of Nykthos being played. And a lot of people were already kind of sleeping on playing their Strip Mines when Maze of Ith was already part of the format. I really think it's time to start playing them. If you already were playing them, congrats. You're ahead of the curve. Good job. But if you weren't until right now, that's on you. So we can make ourselves the target by dropping Pontiff, or we can just play Pestilence Demon and win the game. Do we win the game? We don't win the game, but it gets close. Do we want to extort everybody? Go to a hard life total? Let's just play Pestilence Demon. This card's more fun. Lay a Swamp down. Draw a card. Erebos is now active. Leyland the Void, you don't say. So, not really interact with Geth. That's okay. Leyland the Void coming down. Do you want to pay? Yeah, we're going to end up playing Read the Bones as well. This also means we're committing to doing all this now. Leyland the Void, 2 double black. If it's in our opening hand, we can be in the game on the battlefield. From now on, if a card we put into the opponent's grave from anywhere, we exile it instead. We have 6 mana floating. We're going to cast Read the Bones. We're going to extort. Go up to 49. We are the threat, officially. We were the threat before. We're now actually the threat. Rescue from the Underworld and Mimic Vat. Sure. Our top right opponent's going to try his best to kill his own dude, so I'll take both of these. No problem. And I guess we can crack Expedition Map for fun. It now gets exiled, doesn't go back to his graveyard because of Leyland the Void. Oh, hey, look, there's a Nykthos. Oh, God, there's a Nykthos. Do we want a Bog, Mystifying Maze, or just grab Nykthos or Reliquary Tower? Did we already play a land this turn? I think we already played a land this turn. How much do we want our opponents to try and kill us? If we grab Nykthos, our opponents will try and kill us from the rest of the game. That's it. We don't get another chance. Let's grab Tower and seem like we don't have a play. Nah, screw it. We're grabbing Nykthos. Alright, all in on the Haterade plan. We are enemy number 1 right now. Enemy numero uno. If there was a first enemy to kill, it's now us. He says, I got this. Oh gosh, it's not going to be good. Alright, I'm checking the chat. Alright, we're not dead yet. We're going to send 5 this way. We're going to send 6. We're going to send... Actually, do I want to just leave Erebos back to block? This is all probably coming at us. We got Pestilence Demon to kill anything. We've got Rescue. Does Erebos block? I think Erebos blocks. Alright, Balin takes 5. He didn't leave up Core Haven, so he takes 5. He's not going to make that mistake twice. So we'll take it while he makes that mistake. The question is if we want to play anything else. The answer is no. Or we're going to discard Volrash Stronghold, because who needs that card? Legendary lands, get out of my hand. They don't even know the plan. Alright, so our Braids player is putting in something spicy, I would assume. It's got to be something spicy if you're playing Braids. I mean, he put Doomgape into his graveyard. So I'm assuming nothing, because I have no idea what's going on in this deck. It could be like an Avatar deck. I've seen that tried. It doesn't have red available, but it's an interesting idea. There's a lot of avatars in Magic, and they're all really powerful, and that's a Jin-Gitaxias. Okay. Things I can't deal with for 100. Things I can deal with for 100. I can just Peasant Steam this thing to death. Is that what I do? Do I make sure everyone discards their hand first? I'm smiling. Oh gosh, how horrible of a person can I be? I can be a pretty horrible person. I'm going to let you know that right now. So if we do this for 4, everything dies besides Erebos. Actually, we keep our board. We lose Crypt Gas, but it's still really good for us. What is he playing here? This looks like a Genesis Wave for 5, which I would never do Gen Wave for 5. So maybe it's not Gen Wave for 5? It is Gen Wave for 5, alright. The only reason why I would not Gen Wave for 5 is because not only is it a small amount for a Gen Wave, but it's really subpar. It gets cancelled. No, sir! That Genesis Wave? Big ol' no-no. So, should we kill the Jin-Gitaxias before it goes to our opponent's turns? How horrible of a person do we want to be? How horrible of a person do we want to be? We can be a really bad person. Jeez. I think we're going to be a bad person. He does get to draw 7 cards. Alright, if we let him draw the 7 cards, we're officially just letting this guy go. We are going to attack him for a bunch. So we force our opponents to deal with Jin-Gitaxias, which is something they could probably do. He just has to kill his own Child of Alara and Jin-Gitaxias goes away. But we force him to deal with it, which is the most important part. Here's a Rebel Hulk. Welcome to the board, Rebel Hulk. What's also pretty funny is, so Pestilence Demon, 5 triple black for a flying 7/6. It's single black to deal 1 damage to each creature in each player. That's a Petrified Field coming down. Draws a card off of the Horn of Greed. He also has Knight of the Reliquary up, so he can activate it by sacrificing a 4 to search his library for a land card. He's also going to return Maze of Ith from his graveyard to play, which is not as dangerous as it sounds like it is. Let's see what he's going for here. He's going to cast that Demonic Tutor. He's probably killing Child of Alara. He's got to have a way. So if he kills Child of Alara, what do? We don't have any creatures in our graveyard. I guess we have Twisted Abomination. So we could sacrifice our Geth. I mean, like, all these guys get exiled, which is the best part. Including Child of Alara if he lets it go to the graveyard. In fact, I don't think it's going to trigger because of Leyline of the Void. It's not! Oh, that's perfect! So Child of Alara will not trigger because of Leyline of the Void. I'm sorry if you got this way before I did and you were complaining in the chat. My bad. I just realized it. Leyline of the Void doesn't let it be put into a graveyard. It gets exiled instead. So Child of Alara's abilities won't trigger. So if he tries to kill Child of Alara just to blow up the field, it's not going to work. I guess the best card for him to get would be Kessig Wolfrun here. So yeah. What's going to happen is, at the end of our bottom right opponent's turn, when he goes to 0 cards, we're going to activate Geth. We're going to activate Pestilence Demon for 4. Killing Jin-Gitaxias, leaving our board, and leaving us with cards in hand compared to everybody else. Is it mean? Heck yeah. Is it the best way to win this game? Yes. Core Haven and Maze of Ith will be up, but we'll be focusing all of our attacks on our top left player. He's got 18 cards in hand. He's playing really good spells. And it looks like he has a reanimation-based Progenitus deck. So, Leyline of the Void does ruin him a little bit, and without Braids, he's going to have to actually pay for his spells, which is very, very, very nice for us. It's going to be close. Of course, Demonic Dude can just find a Wrath of God, and it doesn't matter. He could also just play, like, Planar Cleansing. There's a lot of cards that can just be cast here that doesn't ruin our day, but makes it a little bit harder. If he does play something like Planar Cleansing, we will Do we save Cryptgast or do we save Pestilence Demon is the question. I like Pestilence Demon a lot. This guy's really good. Okay, he's going to sack a forest or plains with neither Reliquary to grab a specific land. Very interesting. He grabs Tower. Loam is really bad right now because of Leyline of the Void. O-Stone! Okay. That's going to destroy all... That's going to destroy all... Yeah. I mean, you're going to want to do this before your end step because of Jenga Taxes. Just letting you know. That's very important. Oh, he has to do it at his cleanup step, sorry. So he gets an end step, and you no longer have hands in. Oh, wait, that's right. With Reliquary Tower and Jenga Taxes, doesn't matter. Even though his maximum hand size is reduced by 7, he doesn't have a hand size because of Reliquary Tower. So it's an LOL didn't read any kind of moment. So what do you do here? Lift up both Maze of Ith and Core Haven so we can phase out 2 of our attackers. Five. Vesuvian Shapeshifter. Does that do anything important? Not really. Okay. If he makes a copy of Jenga Taxes, that's just kind of hilarious. Yeah. So he draws 7 cards, but he has to discard them during his actual end step. Baby going in! Gets blocked by Robo Hulk, but it's a good idea. Okay, iTunes. Get out of my face. So once again, this ability won't trigger because of Leyline of the Void. Unless you popping the O-Stone now? Oh, he even just mazes. That's kind of funny. He even mazes the Child of Alara. Lets him draw a card because of rain, but things that don't matter for 100. Good for us, because we get to attack him. I'll put that prevention shield down. Child of Alara dies. Does he get exiled, or did he do it right? Ah, he did it right. He put it to the command zone. Smart man. He's going to draw 7 cards. He's going to lose 7 cards. Because his hand size is still 0. No matter if he draws 7 cards. Unless he has a bounce effect for the other Jenga Taxes. Alright. Looks like he discards his hand. They'll get exiled because of Leyline of the Void, which just feels better. Alright, we put a land onto the battlefield. Let's throw Nykthos down here. I'm always a fan of Nykthos. We get to keep our Gilded Lotus too off this O-Stone, which is really nice. Oh, seriously? I skipped through the trigger on accident. Damnation, you don't say. What in tarnation? So, if we just attack him with all of our creatures, can't block, maze, we force him to pop this. When he pops this, everything goes away. Then we get the play directly after? Sure. Does that seem good? Seems good to me. Let's go for it. We're going to attack you with all of our creatures. Pretty much force him to pop O-Stone is the idea. So we could attack this guy instead. I guess we could go like Valen, Valen, Erebos goes this way. Attacks are like that. He's just gonna maze the Pestilence Demon. Okay. Like, we really want him to pop this O Stone if we can. During our turn would be the best way to do it too, for us. No blocks. Okay. How much mana do we have available? Can we burn people out with Pestilence? I think we can just burn him out with Pestilence Demon right now. Am I wrong? I don't seem wrong. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 from Nykthos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from Cabal Coffers. And then this is 12. Like, yeah, let's just do this. I don't often get to do this, but I'll take it. 13, 14. How much is this? This is for 23. We can just burn the entire board for 23. He goes to 5. Valen's actually just dead. Wait, oh. Do it for 26 as well. Sure. Holding control. So one of the things with MTGO is as long as you hold control, you can stack abilities as much as you want. We're going to deal 26 to the entire board. It's on the stack. So unless he can gain 14 life here, he seems pretty dead. We lose everything besides Erebos and Leyline. If he sacrifices this, if he sacks O-Stone here, we lose everything besides Erebos and Gilded Lotus instead. Yep, we lose everything besides Erebos and Gilded Lotus. Oh wait, no, we also lose Gilded Lotus, of course. Everything else dies. Everything else gets burned for way too much damage. Welcome to Nykthos and Cabal Coffers. It's not good for your opponents, trust me. It's not like chicken soup. It's not good for their soul. Alright. 2, 9, 21. Good game, Valen. What are we discarding here? Let's get rid of this Lana Shade. I think we're good on lands. Our bottom right player also has no cards in hand. Top left is 19. He's at 2. All right. This is a tough situation for people to be in, obviously. We didn't even draw Gary. Oh, that was pretty fun. I mean, Pestilence is a good spell, but damn, I'll take it. Thank you, Pestilence Demon. You're amazing. I love you forever and always. I'll love you forever and always. How about that? And Leyline the Void kept important creatures out of our opponent's graveyards, which is good, as well as important spells, which is very good against a blue deck. Leyline the Void definitely showing that it's a worthy inclusion for our deck. The card we're the most scared of right now, Reverse the Sands. Reverse the Sands would put me to 2 on our opponent 21. Super scary. Looks like we got something coming down. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely a spell. Hydra Omnivore hitting the battlefield. Okie doke. So what I'm looking to do, Beacon of Unrest, targeting Pestilence Demon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cabal Coffers, get that hit for the rest of the damage. Seems easy enough. If that gets countered, what happens? We play Nirkana Revenant. Seems good to me. The best thing we can see him here is cast something besides Ertai, which is what he's doing. Capsize targeting the Hydra Omnivore. Actual good game. Alright, guys. Thanks for playing. The game is actually over. Let's bring back everyone's favorite creature. Pestilence Demon. And then if we cast a creature like Erebos' Emissary, Erebos gets active. We're going to activate Erebos here. Let him attack our bottom right player for 5, then Pestilence for 2. We know our bottom right player has Capsize in hand. I'm not that scared of Capsize right now. We're just out-manaing him. That's what the mono black deck can do. It can just out-mana people. That's all you need to do. He's just going to concede. That's fair. We'll Pestilence for 2. And that'll be game. On turn 9? On turn 9? On turn 8 we had 23 mana with this deck? Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. Sure. Why not? So thanks for watching. I really wanted to play this deck just to showcase how strong Mono Black is right now. And Mono Black is... My god. Mono Black is amazingly strong. And I think that deck really showcased why. If you can hide in the weeds, cards like Nykthos and Cabal Coffers can carry you to the promised land. And let's be honest, Cabal Coffers has been doing this for Mono Black decks for a very long time. Now with Nykthos also kind of backing you up as a semi-Cabal Coffers, it becomes very easy to dominate board states. On top of that, we didn't even get to cast Gary. Like, Gary is obnoxious. This is an amazing, amazing magic card. Especially in a Mono Black deck, and probably one of the strongest ones. In that game, the reason why we truly won was we convinced our Mono Blue player that we weren't the threat, when in actuality, we probably were the threat. Once he decided to stop countering our first spell, like he was in a Ryo deck, we were able to really punish the board by putting out just a lot of mana production. And once we found a way to put that to good use with a card like Pestilence Demon, their state was all but sealed. Their fate was all but sealed. On top of that, one of the best ways to beat a Mono Black deck is to apply pressure. And we didn't really get a lot of pressure put onto us. If you noticed, most of the damage we dealt to us was from ourselves with Pestilence Demon. And that's definitely one of the most important things you can do when playing against a Mono Black deck. The deck list for this deck will be in the description. You can definitely check it out. I recently updated it, so I have to update the deck list on Tapped Out. I also have to take out 2 lands, of course, so... where are these guys? 1, 2. Alright, we'll save there. If you like this video, let me know. If you'd like me to try out some new decks, feel free to ask. This, I think, is the first time you will see it. We'll have an Erebos deck on the YouTube page, which is great, because this deck is really good, and it's something people should be on the lookout for. As far as I'm concerned, the only way to beat a Mono Black deck in the current meta is to out-race it. Mono Black decks have an amazing late game, and especially with a card like Erebos, where you can turn that mana ramp side of cards like Cabal Coffers and Nykthos into drawing cards with Erebos because he's your general at all times, it can get pretty silly pretty quickly. And I think Erebos is probably one of the best, if not the best, Mono Black general right now, just because of what he offers to a deck. If you look at our build right now, right, we have Revenant, Cade Sun, Gauntlet of Power, Crypt Ghast. I think there's another one even hiding in here as ways to double our mana, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 6. I think there's another one in here. Liliana, technically. Whatever. So we have 6 ways right here to double our mana. So if we draw a hand of, let's say, 4 Swamps, a Crypt Ghast, a Night Howler, and let's get a stupid, like, a Rise of the Dark Realms. For most decks, this isn't a keep. This is a horrible hand. But the fact is, with a deck like ours, as long as we have Erebos as our general and we can consistently cast them, this is a fantastic hand. We don't care if we only have mana rampers. We'll be able to get to Rise of the Dark Realms, because of that mana we ramp out of Crypt Ghast, we can just pump it through Erebos to draw cards with it. Also, the ability to make sure your opponents can't gain life is surprisingly relevant. There's still a lot of Tristani decks running around in the metagame, and it's very important to shut those decks down. Erebos does a very good job of it. And it also has the God Principle. And what I mean by the God Principle is that these new legendary enchantment gods, they stick around for way too long. And in the last part of that turn, our opponent popped an O-Stone. Erebos stayed. He didn't care. He's chilled out. We cast enough black mana symbols, brought Erebos back, and killed somebody. And that's all you need to do in this current metagame with the gods, and that's why they're currently so very strong as commanders. With that said, I am going to head on out. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. I do post EDH videos on this channel, of course, so if you'd like to check out some more, feel free to subscribe. Um, I also stream Magic the Gathering at twitch.tv/mtgradio. Focus on Commander, as you can tell, because I love Commander. Um, and again, once again, the deck list for this deck will be posted below in the description. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a kick out of how strong this deck is, because I think it's amazingly strong. Even if we're running cards like Keepsake Organ and Mogus Martyr. Couldn't care less. Erebos doesn't matter. LOL, didn't read. Thanks so much for stopping by, and thanks for tuning in.